The World Rally Championship will have a new destination to head to in 2025, after Saudi Arabia agreed a deal with the championship to host a round. Preparations for the event will begin in earnest now, with Saudi Arabia hosting a test event early next year ahead of its formal championship debut later in the season. But is it a good addition? Is it what the WRC needs? And is it likely to be popular? That's what we're about to delve into. It's no secret that Saudi Arabia has been investing heavily in the motorsport industry in recent years. It's held Formula E and Extreme E events, as well as the Dakar Rally in recent years. And it's also got an F1 race, held on the streets of Jeddah. Saudi Arabian companies are also getting involved, with one notable example being Aramco, a Saudi oil company that is involved with the likes of the Aston Martin F1 team. So in many ways, adding the WRC to the country's schedule is a natural fit for the nation. But it's not just hosting the WRC round for a single year. Instead, it has already agreed to a deal with the WRC to host an event for 10 years starting in 2025. That's a huge deal for both the country and the championship, and it's a real statement of intent, demonstrating how serious Saudi Arabia is about the series. It's also been announced that Saudi Arabia will host the final round of the championship in late November, likely after Rally Japan, which has been the season-ending event for the last few years. Right now it's too early to be able to answer that question adequately. We need to wait and see how the first event goes next year. But from a commercial standpoint, you can see why the WRC has opted to add Saudi to the calendar. It's a country that's already investing heavily in motorsport, which in turn is helping build a strong fan base in the area. It also means that the WRC can add a Middle Eastern based event to the calendar, something that's been missing for the last few years. And Rally Saudi Arabia is offering a unique challenge, having stated its event will include mountains, deserts, and even volcanoes. As such, it's likely to create a compelling and dramatic backdrop. But we have to wait and see whether that translates into a strong competitive event. Well, on paper, the primary concern at play is the fact that its candidate event will run in the same year as its championship qualifying event. The candidate event has to be a complete success, fulfilling the FIA's sporting criteria, and if it doesn't, it won't be on the calendar next year. Given that they're both occurring in the same year, that gives little margin for error. It doesn't mean it can't be achieved though. It certainly can, and with the finances Saudi Arabia is likely to have behind it, you'd put your money on it passing with flying colours, rather than the other way round. But you still can't get past the fact that it's a risk. It also leaves question marks lingering about what this means for the future of a US rally event. Again, there's nothing to say that it really is a problem at this stage, but it does raise questions about how far the championship wants to expand its calendar, at a time when costs are already being posed as an issue. And the final concern is the length of the contract. 10 years is a long time, and if the event isn't as successful as is hoped, what does the WRC do then? A 5-year deal would have felt like a more sensible approach, providing the rally with enough stability, while also giving the championship some flexibility if things don't work out as expected. Right now, we all need to sit tight before stating whether the addition of Saudi Arabia is good for the WRC or not. We know there's a fan base in that area of the world, especially when it comes to rallying, but there's still a question mark lingering about whether it's a huge benefit for the championship or not. All we do know is that Saudi will now be around for a long time to come, no matter the end result.